The 10 Worst Songs of 2011 was the video that probably 80% of my subscribers found me through, eventually getting over 10 million views and over 40,000 dislikes. It's by far the most watched thing I will ever do. So, time to capitalize on that now that I'm a dead channel. I did one of these revisiting videos last year. You guys seem to like it, so let's see how the class of 2011 is doing 12 years later. Number 10 was Beyonce, Run the World. I actually did a Buckley vs. Buckley video about this entry on Patreon. Support the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. Got a shill for the pill. But I came right out of the gate with the joke about me being a misogynist, but not a misinformed misogynist. And a bunch of people took that joke so literally. Oh man, this guy hates women too, just like me? Awesome! And then I lost all those subscribers when I made fun of incels a few years later. Real shame. Anyway, in 2011, I took the song literally for the sake of comedy, saying that there were 14 female heads of state, meaning girls only run 6.86% of the world. As of writing this, there are now 30 female heads of state, slightly more than double. Girls now run 14.7% of the world. If the world added 16 more lady leaders every 12 years and didn't lose any, by the time Beyonce is 101 years old, women will run over 50% of the world. Yes, queens! Number 9 was Hot Shell Ray, Tonight Tonight. In 2019, Hot Shell Ray tweeted, "How many Michelles out there have had to shed some light on how to pronounce our name to people who say Hot Chili Ray? And I think it's incredibly optimistic of them to believe that, in 2019, anyone was saying their name correctly or incorrectly. I think the problem is that Hot Shell Ray was a little too late to the party. They'd have been right at home doing festivals in the mid-2000s with Yellowcard, Hoobastank, The Darkness, and Fountains of Wayne. Of course, they're also all one-hit wonders, so, maybe this just proves it's never a good time to release the most disposable mid-tier pop rock possible." Number 8 was Maroon 5 featuring Christina Aguilera, Moves Like Jagger. I think the most surprising factoid here is that, 12 years later, Mick Jagger is still alive. Please don't die before I release this. Please don't die before I release this. Maroon 5 is the band that deserves all the hate that Nickelback gets, and then some. They're wedding DJ fodder. Moves Like Jagger is played somewhere between the Cha-Cha Slide and the Chicken Dance every weekend in every city in America for the last 12 years, and that will be its legacy. The song drunk uncles love to strut to just before they accidentally feel up the bride and then pass out in the reception hall shitter. Number 7 was Nicki Minaj, Super Bass. Nicki Minaj will turn 41 this year. At least her internal organs and the few surface parts that are still real will. Anyway, I have to admit, she made me eat my words. I said in my stupid hoe autopsy that no one would care about her when she reached Lil' Kim's age, that it's very rare for a rapper to reach 40 and still make hits. Well, in 2023, 12 years after Super Bass was an annoyingly massive hit, she managed yet another top 10 hit, teaming with Ice Spice on Princess Diana, reaching number 4 on the Hot 100. In fact, I guarantee she's the first female rapper over 40 to do it. In fact, I would bet less than 10 dudes have done it. A phrase that no one's ever said about, no, you know what? Let's just leave it at, Buckley was wrong. You win this round, Nicki. Well done. Number 6 was Flo Rida, Good Feeling. Flo Rida's 2023 started out with a great feeling. He began the year by winning an $82 million lawsuit against an energy drink company. Easy come, easy go, though. A judge ordered him to pay child support for his special needs kid that he's apparently never met, who, by the way, fell out of a 5-story window and lived. And then supposedly, Flo Rida canceled the kid's medical insurance. Oh, Flo. Oh, you're incorrigible. Well, if you find yourself in Mankato, Minnesota, August 4th around 5 p.m., Flo Rida is going to be performing as part of Mankato Rib Fest. Get yourself some ribs, your face and hands sticky with barbecue sauce, and listen to some of the worst rap ever performed. Number 5 was a tie between 2 Taylor Swift songs, The Story of Us and Mean. Generic 2010s Taylor Swift song about a boy number 12 and 13 haven't earned much of a legacy. In fact, when I Google the story of us, we get Canada, the story of us. An IMDb entry for a rom-com called The Story of Us, starring Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer, a book by an author named Catherine Hernandez, the wiki article for said Bruce Willis rom-com, a wiki article for the Canadian History Show, a National Geographic show narrated by Morgan Freeman, a Hallmark Channel movie, and then finally, the Genius entry for the lyrics to Taylor Swift's The Story of Us. I don't think Taylor cares, though. In 12 years, she's become maybe the most successful female pop star of ever. When you've charted 189 times, the most of any woman ever, you can afford to have a few forgettable ones. Number 4 was YC featuring Future, Racks. YC literally only has 2 songs on Spotify, Racks and a song called I Know. But he's still pulling 76,000 monthly listeners, so good for him. I don't know if he's got racks on racks on racks anymore. He might only have racks on racks. On his Instagram, there appears to be a photo of, I don't know, it might be a Ford Mustang. I don't know a lot about cars, but I do know it's not a Bugatti or a Maserati or a Lamborghini or anything else that ends in I, and Britney Spears told us that if you want one, you have to work, bitch. This song, similar to Wiz Khalifa's Black and Yellow, has a line that aged very poorly. The flex about how he's got a car that's push button to start. The current base model Nissan Sentra has that feature, and I can tell you, no one has ever gotten their dick sucked for owning a Nissan Sentra. No one. Number 3 was the Rejects, Cat Daddy. Feline Father was the Rejects' biggest hit, reaching number 97 on the Hot 100 before leaving the chart the next week. It beat Trace Adkins, My Chemical Romance, and Aerosmith's Steven Tyler that week, though, so they'll always have that. Since that time, you might be surprised to hear that they're still making what some might mistakenly call music. In 2019, they released this. I can tell you right now, I don't think that's what Pink Fong had in mind for Mommy Shark to be doing. Number 2 was Big Sean, featuring Nicki Minaj, Ass. Large Sion's always managed to do all right. Like, he's got a career that I don't imagine anyone dreams of having, but maybe they should. Since Ass, he's managed to chart nearly 50 more songs on the Billboard Hot 100. Can you name any of them? Gun to my head, I don't know if I could. My brains would be painting the walls because I didn't have Bounce Back stored in there. But he's doing just fine. He's dating Janae Aiko, they have a kid, he's making money, kind of flies under the radar so he doesn't have to deal with paparazzi harassing him because, to be honest, no one gives a shit what Big Sean is up to. That is the real dream. To be rich, doing what you want to do for a living, but not having to deal with all the worst parts. Let Drake have TMZ up his ass 24 hours a day. And the worst song of 2011 was Kreayshawn, Gucci Gucci. A couple of years ago, Kreayshawn said she still owes Sony $800,000 because she spent her $1 million advance, then dropped her album, and it sold 3,502 copies. And the label said, "So, where's our money, since you never actually earned it back for us? What, you didn't think we just gave you $1 million, did ya?" Ha ha ha. So it's pretty safe to say she couldn't buy any Gucci, Louis, Fendi, or Prada even if she wanted to. I mocked this song for how bullshit it was. Fake white girl gangsta talking about selling pills and shooting people, performed by a girl who sounds like she huffed helium and looks like if she got in a turf war with a stiff wind, the stiff wind would be controlling her corner by lunchtime. But then, in 2021, she released the Mom Song.
I miss sleeping and fucking anywhere I want. Now I'm breastfeeding in the bathroom at a restaurant.
Honestly, check the whole thing out. Listen, it's not a great song, but it's funny. And it's more real than anything she ever put out when she was pretending she was a hood bitch. Dare I say it? Maybe it's a shared experience. Maybe because we both had hits and now we both, don't. But 12 years later, I think I actually like Kreayshawn. And all it took was her life being destroyed by her label and a shitty accountant, and a song where she talks about how much having kids sucks. Totally worth it to have some fucking nobody with a YouTube channel finally respect ya. Right, Kreayshawn?